So I have opened my command prompt. I'm in the root directory of my project. So I'm gonna create a Docker image based on the Docker file which I have defined in my Spring Boot project. So to create the image, we have to keep the command docker build -t. I'll keep the name SpringBootSoap, and you have to keep the current directory dot. So yes, it has started building the Docker image. So once it creates our image, we'll verify that. So, okay, so it has created a Docker image with the name is SpringBootSoap. So I will now start the container. I will give the port name, so I have used the 8080, so we'll map to 8080 in the container. And the name SpringBootSoap. Okay, it should have been started. We'll wait for a few more seconds. It could be based and depend upon the system resource and memory. So for my system, maybe it's taking a little while. So you see that I started my Spring Boot application from the Docker container, and the Tomcat has started the port 8080. So our application has started. Now let's check the same SOAP request and verify if we are getting the response or not. So I have opened the SOAP UI, and here is my customer project, and we have deployed our Spring Boot application in the container, and we will verify it if it is working fine or not. So I'm opening the SOAP request, and once it is open, we'll make a call to our SOAP service, and then we will see the same response which we have seen earlier. So okay, so it's not this is the IP, this is the IP which I got from the AWS public IP. Okay, let's hit it and see what's happening. Okay, I think it is going to be timeout because I have not yet defined the cluster in AWS ECS. So I'll now replace with localhost, and now we'll hit it. and it's taking time. It should not take this much of time actually, because application is running in the container. Okay, I will just wait for a few more seconds. Okay, we got the response. So it's the same response where I have whatever details I have filled here. So in the SOAP response, I'm getting those details. Okay, so after this, I'll deploy your application in the ECS, and then we will verify the same. So I have logged into AWS. So in the AWS, you can search the service called ECR, Elastic Container Registry. So in the Elastic Container Registry, you have to go here. So in the Elastic Container Registry, I have created a repository. So you can create a repository. I've already created a repository called SpringBootSoap. So after I create a repository, I have added this Spring Boot Docker image. So here is the my Docker image in the ECR. So you can find the steps how to push the image to Docker Elastic Container Registry. So you can go through here, view push commands, and here are those commands they have already given. So I have connected to US East 1 region. So that's why they are showing already what command you need to use uh, for the East region. So you have to just follow the commands whatever mentioned here, and you have to do step by step. So first you log in to this region. You can see your own image in the under this column. So I have already pushed that. So now I'll move to into the ECS. So in the Elastic Container Service, now I will going to no, I'll deploy that image to my the Elastic Container Service. So here you have to choose custom. You have to configure it. So custom name. So give some name, and here you have to give that the location of your image. So that I have, you can see that this is the East region, and this is my Spring Boot Soap is my image. After this, you can increase the memory. Update. The error is gone. Do next. So we'll keep everything as a default configuration for just to verify. So we have to give some different name. Already default is present, so I'm giving Spring Boot Soap. Next. Now you have to create. So when you make a create, it will create. It will automatically configure for this Docker image and will deploy in the container. So we need to wait for few seconds till all these steps complete. So there are other best practices is there which you need to do also. So currently I'm not doing that. I'm just keeping it as default just to show how to deploy our Docker image in ECS. So it's almost done. So once it is done, we will verify our application from the browser and SOAP request. We can see all the tasks has been completed. Now I will go to the browser and we can try with the public IP. So before that, we need to go to the service, go to the task. You see the task is running. Click this. You will get a public IP. Okay, so cool. So we see now our application is deployed in the AWS Elastic Container Service. So with that, this tutorial completes. Thank you.